Hi, I welcome you all. Let's do a problem from our coding patterns today, and the name of the problem is minimum window substring. So in this problem, given two strings s and t of length m and m respectively, return the minimum window substring of s such that every character in t is included in the window, and if there is no such substring, return the empty string. And let's understand the example 1, and I think for that let's first see what t is. So right now t में character है abc, and we need to find a window in s such that that particular substring contains all the characters of t, and if there are multiple answer, you need to return the smallest one. Okay, and I see there is a one window. See, it contains abc, right? But there is one more window banc which also contains abc, correct? And which one is smallest? Of course the second one. So banc would be the answer. And similarly in example 2, if your given string is a and your s contains just a, so a is going to be the answer. In example 3, if your t contains a and a, then make sure your s should also have a and a, right? If that's not the case, you need to return just empty. I hope the problem is clear, and let's deep dive onto the approach. So the name of the approach that we are going to follow to solve this problem is called a sliding window. And so generally sliding window contains two pointers called as left and right, and we move both the pointers accordingly such that we end up finding the solution. And in this case our solution is going to be a subarray which should contain all the characters of t. Okay, and so we have given t which is on the right hand side, and your s is going to be on the left hand side. और हम लोग इसको इस अप्रोच को करने के लिए क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि मैंने जस्ट अभी आपके साथ डिस्कस किया कि वी नीड टू फाइंड अ सब अरे जिसमें ये सारे कैरेक्टर्स डेफिनेटली हो. ओके, तो अगर हमें कुछ इस तरह की मैपिंग करनी पड़ती है जिसमें हम लोग दो स्ट्रिंग कैरेक्टर्स के फ्रीक्वेंसीज को मैप करते हैं, तो हम लोग कुछ इस केस में मैप का यूज करेंगे. और लेट्स क्रिएट अ मैप फॉर टी फर्स्ट which will contain the frequency of the characters. So let's assume this pink circle is a map which is going to store the frequency of each and every character of t first. Your a contains just one occurrence and your b is appearing for 2 times. Let's assume your left pointer is pointing to a and your right pointer is also pointing to a, and now we'll move our right pointer towards the end of the string. We'll also move left pointer, not now, we'll let you know when we have to use our left pointer. So for the very first case what we'll do, तो हम लोग एल्गोरिथम को कुछ इस तरीके से डिफाइन करने वाले हैं कि हम लोग एस फ्रीक्वेंसी में उन्हीं एलिमेंट्स को रखेंगे जो हमारे लिए यूज़फुल है. और हमारे लिए कौन से एलिमेंट यूज़फुल हैं? जो हमारे टी फ्रीक्वेंसी वाले मैप में हैं. ओके, सो ए जो है, ए हमारे टी फ्रीक्वेंसी में है, करेक्ट? सो या ए इज़ गोइंग टू बी दी आंसर. आर को हम लोग आगे बढ़ाते हैं. क्या एम हमारे टी फ्रीक्वेंसी में है? नहीं, तो हमारे लिए ये यूज़फुल एलिमेंट नहीं है. सो लेट्स नॉट add this thing into our s frequency. Let's increase our pointer. अभी जो हमारा r है वो b को पॉइंट कर रहा है. b डेफिनेटली हमारे t में था, तो हम लोग b को भी हम लोग यहाँ पर डालेंगे जिसकी occurrence है 1. Let's increase our right pointer again, and now your r is pointing to a again. Okay, and since a was also the part of t frequency, so we will increase the frequency of a to 2. And let's increase our r pointer again, and now your r is pointing to c. Is c is a useful element? No, c is not the useful element, क्योंकि हमें at the end हमें t को हम लोग मैप कर रहे हैं, करेक्ट, s में. तो हमारे लिए c is no more a useful element, तो हम लोग t को सीधा इग्नोर कर देंगे और r को हम लोग फिर से आगे बढ़ाएंगे. And now your r is pointing to element b, and let's increase the count of b to 2. Do you see अभी क्या था, a एक बार होना चाहिए, करेक्ट? अगर a दो बार है इसमें, that's okay, it's still a valid answer, correct? b is required to have to be 2 times, which is equivalent to what we have received just now. तो अभी क्या हुआ, ये दोनों जो है करेक्टली एक दूसरे के कॉन्ग्रुएंट से हो रहे हैं, करेक्ट? अगर आप केयरफुली इस विंडो को ऑब्जर्व करोगे between L and R, so your A is appearing for 2 times, correct? And your B is also appearing for 2 times, which is, so this current window is a valid answer, correct? This is a valid answer. And why are we saying that it is a valid answer? ये इसलिए था क्योंकि हमारे पास जो हमारे टोटल कैरेक्टर्स की जो रिक्वायरमेंट थी, इट वाज 2, करेक्ट? एंड जो हमारा अभी टोटल कैरेक्टर्स है वो भी 2 है, करेक्ट? तो हमारे दो एलिमेंट्स एग्जैक्टली मैच हो गए हैं, इसीलिए हम बोल रहे हैं कि ये जो करंट विंडो है ये एक वैलिड है। और जब भी ऐसा केस हो तो see, this is a valid answer, right? But what is our goal? Our goal is to find the lowest, I mean a window of minimum size, correct? And how can you make a window of minimum size? What if we increase our left pointer, अगर हम left को आगे बढ़ाएंगे toward right, and if still it, let's assume if it is still a valid answer, तो हम लोग we are making sure that the answer that we are going to receive is going to be a valid answer. Okay, so let's increase our left pointer again. Okay, now your L is pointing to A, correct? And the moment you start utilizing your left pointer will decrement the count from the S frequency. So let's increase the left pointer, and before that it will decrement the count of A to 1 back again. Okay, and now your left is pointing to M. बिफोर दैट एक्चुअली जैसे ही आपने ए की जो काउंट थी उसको 1 किया, इससे क्या हुआ, क्या हमारा जो रिक्वायर्ड ए का काउंट था उसको कोई डिफरेंस आया? नहीं, राइट? तो स्टिल आर हैव इज स्टिल 2, करेक्ट? इट इज स्टिल अ वैलिड आंसर. और नाउ योर एल इज पॉइंटिंग टू एम. Is M a useful element? I mean, A is not even playing any role here. So let's just increase your left pointer again. And now your left is pointing to B, correct? Or your left and right is still forming a window. और इस विंडो में क्या है? A जो है एक बार है, B जो है 2 बार है. This is still a valid answer. Do you see? जब L हमारा स्टार्टिंग में था फिर भी आंसर था, और हम लोग L को इंक्रीज करते जा रहे हैं, इट इज स्टिल अ वैलिड आंसर. एंड व्हाई आर वी सेइंग दैट इट इज अ वैलिड आंसर? बिकॉज योर हैव इज exactly equal to our need. And now your L is pointing to B. I mean, if you want to move L, तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे? B का काउंट 1 करेंगे, okay? And your left will start pointing to A. The moment you decrease the value of B, ये जो रिक्वायर काउंट था उससे तो बी कम हो गया है, करेक्ट? तो योर हैव विल अल्टीमेटली बिकम 1 बिकॉज यू आर जस्ट satisfying only one of the characters criteria. You are failed to satisfy character B. In this case, what we'll do, we cannot increase left more than what it is right now, so we will utilize our right pointer again. Since our right is pointing to B, so we'll increase the right pointer to B, the next B, okay, this one, and your B will again become 2. Do you see now that the count of is exactly same as this B, correct? तो इस केस में क्या होगा, हमारा जो have है वो फिर से 2 हो जाएगा. The moment your have become equal to need, it is a valid answer, correct? I mean, you see in this window, if you see, you have 2 B's and 1 A, right? और इस केस में हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Now we'll activate our left pointer again, and now your left is pointing to A, right? And since this is a valid answer, you got 2 B's between left and R, and you got 1 A between left and R. तो हम लोग left को एक बार increase करके देखते हैं क्या हम इस विंडो को और छोटा कर सकते हैं. So your L is pointing to A. Let's decrease the value of A to 0 and change the left pointer from A to C. The moment you decrease the value of A to 0, it is no more a valid answer, right? Because the value of A just got lower than what it used to be, right? And that's why your have is become 1 now. and this is no more a valid answer. Then what we'll do in this case, we'll increase our right pointer again, and now you'll increase your right to a, and your the value of a become again 1, okay, which is exactly what we are looking for, and that's why your have will become 2 again. And since your have and need is become 2, so this is a valid answer, right? So this is a valid answer, correct? This is a valid answer. What we can do, we'll increase our left pointer again, okay, and the moment you increase the left pointer again, because c wasn't useful in our case, so that's why you'll end up forming one more window which just contain B, B and A, right? If this is a valid answer, what will you do? We'll again try to decrease the value of left, okay? And the moment you decrease the value of left, the value of B will become 1 and L will be pointing here, right? And this is no more a valid answer. Your have will become 1 again. If this is not the answer, you increase your right pointer to the next pointer, and right now you're just exhausted all of the values here. The last window that we have got, it seems like an answer to me of which is of size 3. And let's discuss the time complexity of this algorithm. The overall time complexity is going to be the size of the input array, and if we talk about the space complexity of this approach is going to be order of constant time. So let's directly jump onto the code to understand things in much detail. So I'm writing this code in JavaScript, but you can still understand and you will be able to achieve in your own language if you don't have S or T. So उस केस में क्या ही होगा, you won't have any answer, right? You need, because we want to project T inside S. Okay, so that's a pretty common case. उसके बाद क्या होगा, स्टेप 1 में हम लोग क्या कर रहे थे, हम लोग फ्रीक्वेंसी मैप को बना रहे थे फॉर टी, ओके, क्योंकि जब हमारे पास टी का सारा कुछ रहेगा देन यूटिलाइज, बिकॉज विल यूज दैट एज अ ग्राउंड टू कंपेयर थिंग्स फ्रॉम एस, ठीक है। तो स्टेप 1 में हम लोगों ने क्या किया, टी का जो है फ्रीक्वेंसी मैप बनाया। दिस इज हाउ इनिशियलाइज अ मैप, and we'll going through all the characters, we'll taking the previous count and incrementing the count, और इस तरीके से frequency मैप जो है t का रेडी हो जाएगा। now we'll declare the variables which we required to run this code, और the very first thing is the answer, और ये left pointer है, and this thing is the need, right? और need is nothing but the size of the frequency array. do you remember उस हमारे केस में need 2 की थी, because your b was because you just have 2 unique elements, okay, so that's why your need was 2, and by default your have is 0. We'll build this have while building our second map which is of s. Okay, so here comes our step 2, which is creating frequency of s, which is dynamic in nature, by the way, and it is nothing but the a map of things inside a window which is between left and right. So your right will start from 0, and if that if the character that right is pointing is not in the t, so it is not a useful thing, right? So we'll just continue. Okay, post this, whatever character we are going to get, it is a useful character, so we'll just add it to our frequency array. If you are able to find a character which existed in both of the maps with the same count, that means you have just got a one have, okay, and we'll just increase your have plus plus, okay. If your have is equivalent to the need, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि आपने एक ऐसा विंडो जो है ढूंढ लिया है जिसमें वो सारे कैरेक्टर्स है जो हमें टी में है, ठीक है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ, राइट। अगर हम अब हमारा अगला टारगेट क्या है, क्या मैं उस विंडो को शेयरिंग कर सकता हूँ, और शेयरिंग करने के लिए क्या करेंगे, लेफ्ट पॉइंटर को एक्टिवेट करेंगे, और लेफ्ट पॉइंटर क्या करेगा, लेफ्ट पॉइंटर काउंटर को डिक्रीमेंट करता रहेगा एस में से। लेट्स सी हाउ इट हैपन्स। सो डेफिनेटली इस केस में आपके पास आंसर है विच इज़ नथिंग बट द सबस्ट्रिंग, और आवर गोल इज टू फाइंड द सबस्ट्रिंग विच इज़ ऑफ द लोअर साइज और द मिनिमम साइज। तो ये कुछ अप्रोचेज़ हैं, इनको आप समझ सकते हैं कि we are only interested in a substring which is of minimal length. So that's it, and right now we'll see, we'll check where the character that a left pointer is pointing to. अगर वो character हमारी T frequency में है तभी हमारे लिए यूजफुल है, अदरवाइज इट इज नो मोर यूजफुल. सो दिस लाइन इज वेरी मच सेम एज दिस लाइन. ठीक है, और यहाँ पर हम बस दैट ओनली डिफरेंस इज कि हम लोग राइट पॉइंटर को देख रहे थे, अगर वो टीम है तभी हमारे लिए यूजफुल है, और यहाँ पे हम लोग लेफ्ट को देख रहे हैं, अगर वो टीम है तभी यूजफुल है. अगर टीम है तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे, उसका जो भी काउंटर आपने एस फ्रीक्वेंसी में डाला है उसको डिक्रीमेंट करो, एंड द मोमेंट योर काउंटर बिकम्स lesser than the required one which is in the T, you'll decrease your have minus minus, okay, and you'll increase your left pointer again. ठीक है, अगर ये still a valid case हम लोग फिर से ये ऑपरेशन को अलग से फिर से ये इन चीज़ को फिर से आइटरेट करेंगे. you'll increase your left pointer again, okay, and you'll do the same operation. You'll again calculate the answer. If it is a valid answer, then things are good, okay. And at last आप क्या करोगे, the minimum answer going to be the output of this program. So let's run this problem. Yes, so this thing got accepted, and I hope my solution makes sense to you. In case if it is not, please, I would recommend going back approach section again and try to understand once more. And if you understand this approach, give a like and subscribe my channel, and do check out my website which is codingpatterns.com. Thank you for watching.